Hello everyone, so I have a compilation here of various bits of satellite imagery shared online, which show the aftermath of Ukraine's recent drone and missile strikes targeting Russia. There are multiple images to go through here, as Ukraine has hit Russia pretty hard recently. We're going to start off with the big one, Engels. This was a huge one which burnt for 7 days. It was hit twice by Ukraine, so they double tapped it. This depot, you may remember, is used to supply the nearby Engels Air Base. This image, compiled by British intelligence, who determined that 4 oil tanks were destroyed and 10 damaged in the 2 drone strikes. So, pretty successful. You may remember this fire. It's the one that burned for over a week before being extinguished. So, a solid enough strike here. But plenty of targets remain at the oil depot for round 3. And I expect Ukraine may hit this again because, again, this one fuels the Engels Air Base where Russia launches its big bombers from. Here's a Google map image of a site. Our next one here is a drone strike from January the 14th from Kazan. This one targeting a gas facility. So, the before and aftermath, which was shared by Mark Krutov on Twitter, shows 3 storage tanks of gas completely destroyed, plus 2 more with signs of fire after the drone strike. So again, another successful strike here. Here's a Google map image of the site. Now I missed this one when it was first hit and never did a video on it. Our next image is one shared by Cyber Borishona on Twitter. This shows the aftermath of an ATACMS strike which hit a major chemical plant in Bryansk. So you can see 3 separate buildings were hit here. The ATACMS missile penetrated the roof and detonated inside. Unfortunately, we can't see the inside of these structures after the strike, but I'm going to guess they're looking none too clever after having an ATACMS detonate inside them. It wasn't mentioned how many ATACMS were launched at the facility. It's likely more than one ATACMS entered each hole here to give this base a thorough rogering. The Google map view is on screen now, so you can see this facility. The image isn't very clear on Google Maps, but the satellite imagery shows it to be pretty expansive, and Russia's been enlarging and improving it throughout 2024. This is an important facility that produces fuel used in missiles and rockets, notably for the Grad and the Uragan. This is here in relation to Ukraine itself. What we can't tell with this image is how long this facility is going to be offline, if at all, and how important these buildings are, but Ukraine must have selected these to be hit for a reason, so you have to assume they are pretty important. Next up we have Tula Oil Refinery. The before is shown on screen now, and here the after. So, 1 tank destroyed here. A little disappointing given the size of this facility. You can see this is a big one. This kind of shows the limitations of Ukraine's drones. So, whilst Ukraine is having a lot of success hitting the facilities with them, they just seem to lack the punch that a missile does. So this site definitely needs a second strike. As you can see, plenty of tanks are still remaining. But it does show that despite Ukraine getting through, they do need something with a bit of a bigger wallop to be able to cause monumental damage to these facilities. Long-range missiles, for example, with range to hit this, would absolutely devastate it with all these oil tanks. But Ukraine has to rely on drones. Here's a zoomed in, first the before and here the after. So, really, not all that much damage caused if truth be told here, but still, better than nothing. Here's a location zoomed out. This facility hit by at least 1 drone. Let's now check out Saratov. So again, on screen, the before, and here the after. Now, 2 tanks are missing. One of them, the one on the left, looks to have been removed before the drone strike, so not hit by Ukraine. It seems a bit too completely gone for me to be as a result of a drone strike, so maybe it was damaged in the past one and Russia's had to remove it, or it was getting old and a bit leaky, so Russia's tore it down and is going to rebuild it, something like that. This facility has been hit before though. In blue, you can see 2 which are already damaged, so this missing one may have been damaged in that and was damaged so badly it had to be completely removed. But there's still plenty of targets to go here. Now that one was a touch disappointing, but we have a pretty good one coming up for you here. This one was hit hard. This one is a facility at Lisy. So you can see this is quite a small oil depot, but Ukraine definitely hit this a lot. Here, on this satellite image, you can see smoke still coming from the site, with 3 tanks hit in the red circles, as well as 2 smaller tanks with a red box. So a total of 5 tanks destroyed here, so pretty successful. This drone strike certainly did cause a lot of damage. Now, I've saved the best for last here. Ukraine hit this facility on January 30th. It's the Novoshakhtynsky oil depot in Rostov, which is not far from Rostov-on-Don. This one, the aftermath video showed a massive fire at the site, and you can see in the satellite imagery shared by Cyberbor shown on Twitter that at least 3 drones hit this facility in 3 different areas. Better yet, these drones weren't just hitting the oil tanks, but hit the processing equipment. As a result, Russia has had to cease operations at this refinery. This is one of the biggest ones in the region. In 2024, it processed 3 million tonnes of oil. However, it has a capacity to process 7.5 million tonnes a year. Ukrainian drone strikes prevented it from operating at full capacity. So, that shows just how successful these drone strikes are and how much they impact Russian oil production. Ukraine hit this 3 times in 2024, once in March, once in June, once in December. So it seems whenever Russia actually repairs the damage and gets the facility up and running again, Ukraine hits it once more. So production has more than halved thanks to Ukraine's drone strikes here. And that doesn't include the cost of repairing the damage caused by these drones as well. Zoomed out on Google Maps, you can see this facility is very close to the border with Ukraine. So, it doesn't take Mystic Meg to predict that Ukraine is going to hit this again once repairs are complete. So that's it for this bunch of satellite imagery, but there are plenty of more strikes which Ukraine has carried out which we don't have satellite imagery of yet. Here is a interesting little map which was put together by Word and Deed, which is a Telegram page, I think, or maybe a website, but it was shared by PS Style 1 on Twitter. That's where I got it from. It's translated into English here, and this shows all of Ukraine's mapped drone strikes so far targeting Russian oil infrastructure. Now, I'm not sure why the yellow one auto-translated to Naftobaz, as you can see. I'm not sure what exactly that means. Naftogaz is a Ukrainian gas company, and all of these here in yellow aren't gas facilities, and certainly aren't Ukrainian gas facilities, as they're in Russia. I assume it's meaning oil depots, and it's just mistranslated for whatever reason, with the light blue ones being the larger oil refineries. So you can see Russia's oil infrastructure in the west of the country has been rogered pretty hard by Ukraine. Many of these facilities have been hit more than once. The furthest one, the facility in Omsk, which was hit, which you can see on the right hand side. Most of the strikes occurring in and around Ukraine itself. So this is certainly going to be having a big effect on Russia. And the oil refineries, remember, some of the strikes are targeted the production facilities rather than oil tanks, so knocking the whole facility offline rather than just targeting the storage. And this shows just how stretched Russia's air defence is having to be. Russia's air defence notoriously shaky, is why we all mock it online. Ammo dumps, radar sites and that sort of thing. So this number of facilities, coupled with Ukraine's constant strikes hitting Russian air defences radars, means there's some pretty sizable Moskva-sized holes in Russia's air defence network. So Ukraine's drones keep getting through. And there's no doubt plenty more targets still waiting to be hit. I am surprised that Ukraine hasn't hit further afield more, such as between Nizhyokamsk and Omsk. Maybe it's just the logistics of carrying out a successful strike at that distance, which makes it not worthwhile. So Ukraine is focusing on the facilities in and around Ukraine and that sort of thing. So that's it for this video. Hope you found it interesting. Now I'm going to play 2 videos from NAFO about the ongoing fundraiser with them, which features Sukhamimus channel patches. The donation link is in the description. Big thanks that everybody has helped out so far. Thanks so much, and take care, everybody.
Hello everyone, we 67th Brigade Battalion of Unmanned Systems want to thank Hell 99 Fund and our friends from NAFO, and we would like to ask your help with FPV drones. These drones will help us to defend our motherland, will help us to repel invaders of our homeland. So it's very much needed for now. So together to victory. Слава Україні!
Героям слава!
Бажаю здоров'я!
Ми, бійці роти охорони 110-ї окремої механізованої бригади, звертаємось до спільноти НАФО та благодійної організації 69-ї штурмової бригади за допомогою в придбанні пікапу для виконання завдань в зоні ведення бойових дій та евакуації поранених побратимів з поля бою. Слава Україні!
Героям слава!